What's up, you little hoe snacks? You little bitches? You little bitches and hoes? It's Erica with Now You're Having GDC. I said I was going to take a break from YouTube, but then I really had like a fun idea due to the current events. And I like needed to make this video and then sign off for a little bit because this is just like fucking funny to me. Also, Nicole Dodge made me a nice drink. I haven't had a drink in a while. I haven't been drinking at all because I only like beer, but I can't afford it anymore. I'm saving my monies for a house. So I haven't had beer in a while and I don't really drink hard liquor anymore until today. She made me a nice drink. So we're feeling a little frisky. So I figured we would just talk some fucking shit about some knives and have fun before I take a break for a little bit. So, due to some recent discussions, I'm going to talk about 5 knives that I have beaten the fuck out of and the craziest thing I did with them. That's what we're going to talk about tonight, and we're just going to have a little bit of fun and be ridiculous and annoying and obnoxious and not charming and what was the word that somebody just used? Oh, I'm trying to remember. It was a good one. It was like a good adjective. Oh, Mr. Bibbs is here. Hi, Mr. Bibbs. Okay. Let's do this, guys. 5 knives. I have 5 knives here that I have beaten the pulp out of, used as multi-tools, and I'm going to say the craziest thing that I did with each one. I wanted to do this with Nicole Dodge, but she's inside playing Phase 10, and she didn't want to leave the game, so I have to do it by myself. But everyone say hi to Nicole, because she has also done some stupid fucking shit with her knives. Probably dumber than me, and that's awesome. Okay. First one that has been used and abused, Emerson A100. The dumbest thing that I did with this, I think, was when I was renovating a building at one of my old jobs, like 2 jobs ago. And I did use this as an actual chisel. So this has a chisel edge. Obviously, it's an Emerson. It's a V-grind. V-grind chisel edge. But still a chisel. And we were renovating the warehouse, and we had close to no tools, which people say is impossible, and that if you're in the middle of an ocean, you can still find a screwdriver. But, surprisingly, I live on Mars, where we were asked to do some renovation work for cheaper than actual laborers would do, or an actual company. And therefore, we were not given any fucking tools. So we just had to make do, right? It was fun. It was with Nicole, actually. Riddle me this. Imagine Nicole and I in a giant fucking warehouse together, having to renovate it with no help, no guidance, left for dead. No tools. Just have at it and do the best you can. Imagine us just sucking our thumbs in the middle of a fucking warehouse. That's what was happening. Except we figured it out and we were pretty efficient. So this is the knife that I was testing during that time, and we had to repaint the entire fucking room, and a company came in to do just the flooring. So we had to do all the other renovations, but a specific company came in to do the flooring, and they put down this textured, because it's a warehouse, this textured, almost jelly flooring, and it had to cure, and then they put down another layer, and that had to cure, and it had grit within it so that you don't slip and you don't have to wear non-slip shoes. It was like a production area in a warehouse. However, it was a bunch of 20-year-old boys that did the flooring and did the curing and everything, and they overshot into the processing area where you actually take the orders and package them up to go out for delivery. So we had to correct the between the floor, where the wall meets the floor. It had leaked up onto the side, and we had to paint those walls, but we had to literally chisel away where they had just poured this textured shit everywhere, and it like went up onto the walls. So I literally used this as a chisel to, and I did have a hammer, luckily. I literally used this as a chisel and hit it with a hammer because I didn't have anything else to break off that bondage of the flooring and the paint and stuff to actually make it like uniform, because it had leaked up and it looked horrible. But I literally used this as a chisel because that's all I had, and this poor thing it got trashed, and it did get a little paint print on it during that time that I never washed off, because it just reminds me of when I was literally, that's a thumbprint, by the way. I literally had this like that, and I was hitting it and breaking off paint and textured gel flooring from a little connecting point. But I think that's the craziest thing I did with this. Still works though, still looks good, all that good stuff. At one point, I didn't have my fingers on the top, and I did hit the thumb disc with a hammer, and it marred it up, so I switched that out. But other than that, good to go. Let's talk about the Spyderco Delica. This one I actually recorded doing the dumb shit with. So, another job left with no tools, left for dead, didn't even meet my boss after a year of working there. This Delica is the one where I made those plastic shims and used my Mr. Nice bar to like hammer them into a threshold of a cooler door that was metal. And then once I pounded the plastic shims in, I had to trim them so that people wouldn't trip over them going into said cooler. And this is the knife that I was testing at that time. And I do have videos on this, but under the Use Your Shit playlist. But sure enough, this is the only blade I had. Those were the only tools I had. We did not have anything. And I used this and just shredded the top of those shims off. And this was scraping up against the metal threshold so that it was like a nice clean cut. And this poor thing just got beat to shit. But it didn't actually, it didn't fail. Sorry, Kane just jumped up on the table. It didn't fail, and it didn't ruin the edge. Like, it definitely needed a sharpening after, but it didn't ruin it. And the only bit of wear that I found on this coating, this DLC coating, was, come on, focus, right here. That's it. That's all that came out from beating the fuck out of that knife and literally just like dragging it. And I was shearing off metal too. Like, I was aiming for the plastic, of course, but I wanted to get a nice close cut. And it was scraping up against the metal and shaving little curls of metal off of that threshold. And that's all that happened to it. Sharpen it back up. Razor fucking sharp. Good to go. Not destroyed. Use your shit. That video is kind of cool, actually. Dumbest thing I ever did with my Benchmade 940. So this is the one that I was carrying when I was doing house renovations and construction and all that stuff. And I had those stupid fucking brackets that were from like the 80s that had been painted over and over as the years went on. And they were brackets to hold curtains into a window. And then somebody had painted over them every time that they wanted to change the fucking wall color. And they were just, there were not even screws in there anymore. I had gotten the screws out, surprisingly. And the bracket was still like just glued onto that windowsill from just layers of fucking paint. So I recorded, and yes, it is on the channel. I recorded a video of me using this. Did anyone say that you could be here for this talk? That guy, he's obsessed. He's absolutely obsessed with Paul. Anyway, come on, straighten out. Okay, so I was testing this at the time, and I wanted to see if you could use it as a kind of like pry bar. Cane, come on. Like people say that you can. I wanted to see if I could use it as like a pry bar to pry those brackets off of that window, and I recorded it, and during the recording, I didn't break the tip off of this. However, when I went to do multiple windows, I did break the tip off. So I was using this as like a pry tool, and I was hitting the back of the 940 with a hammer and wedging it into these glued brackets and literally cracking them and breaking them off because they were so fucking old that they were like literally glued on. Dear God, this dog. So yeah, I was like hammering it in and then using the handle, breaking them right off. That was a lot of fun, actually. I'm really surprised this didn't get more damaged. I broke just the very tip of this thing off during that. And obviously that was a year and a half ago. I sharpened it out. Now it looks fine. It's great. It has a tip again. But it did break off just the very tip. And that was, I think, the dumbest thing I ever did with this 940. Although I've done a lot of dumb shit. I actually have a video of me using the back end as a hammer in drywall. Not dumb. Fun. Ooh. The liquor's making me burp. Alright. Reeve Sebenza 31. Another one that has just been completely fucking abused. I have so much content on me just using this as basically a scraper. A $475 scraper. It was so fun. See, I have two that are tied for this. I feel like the dumbest thing I did with this was either using this as a garden trowel in my garden. It sounds so stupid when I say this shit. Using it as a garden trowel in the garden to cut out garden roots. To cut out roots that were growing into the garden from a tree. Again, video is on YouTube. Or using this as a chisel scraper to scrape excess caulking off of a ceiling when I was doing renovations. Both of those videos are on the Use Your Shit playlist. But I did use this as a scraper, and I was like scraping a ceiling where it had all of the white caulking and stuff had dried, and I had sanded it off. But there were pieces that I wanted to basically just kind of like trim off while it was still not completely dried, but almost dried. So I was using this for that. But I think the garden root one actually takes the cake because that is just me taking this motherfucker, this $475 grail knife to most people, and just shoving it into the dirt and cutting garden roots with it. So stupid and fun. But it's like, dude, I was out there. I didn't bring the fucking garden trowel, garden saw, garden knife. This is what I had on me. It's fully fucking capable. Why not just use it? I felt like a lazy ass that day, I guess. Had this on me, wanted to test it. I was like, alright, I'll use this instead. I'm not actually lazy. I'm never a lazy ass. I take that back. But I did want to use this and see if it could do it, and it did. Fucking flawless. Cut right through those roots, dude. A little beat up at the end, just needed a sharpening, no big deal. Bam. Nicole Dodge is here. Nicole Dodge, I was just talking about you. Where are you?
Hi.
Wave for the people.
I did.
I don't think we saw you. Hopefully they can hear you. You should come out here. We're recording.
Hello.
What knife do you have on you?
I have the Spyderco Native.
Oh, bring that out here for a second. Bring that out here. Nicole Dodge is on her way out. The last one that we have here is the Benchmade Bugout. My old school Bugout, the Ranger one before they redid the coating. And this one, I stabbed through a hot oil filter to release the oil because I couldn't get the oil filter off, and it was just shredded from the oil filter wrench. I was like, fuck it, so I was underneath my truck and stab it right through. Hot oil, scratches, all that good shit. Let her rip, right? Why not? That was fun. Nicole Dodge is here. We were just talking about you. Sit down. Sit down, my friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Sit down, my friend. Nicole Dodge is here. What do you have on you?
This guy.
A little native. Now, okay, so what I did here, you weren't out here for this. I have some use your shit knives because of the recent events. And I talked about the dumbest thing I've ever done. The dumbest thing I ever did with these. Because we're hillbillies, right? We have to talk like that. The dumbest thing I ever did with these. So, I know that you have beaten the shit out of this little native.
Yeah.
Look at the pocket clip. It's not even purple anymore.
But the black coating is actually
Rugged.
super durable.
Super durable.
I'm very surprised that I have not worn that coating off. But, I mean, besides slight markings. But I also haven't washed it, so maybe that's why those marks are there. It's, like, barely faded. No scratches in it, which is so surprising. Because I've shoved this through, like, aluminum cans. At my old job, I had to... In order to get, like, the oil to flow from one aluminum can to, like, a bigger jug.
It wasn't aluminum.
Steel.
Steel.
Yes, steel.
Yeah.
I meant steel. You have to, like, stab it. And Erica would always shit on me for using my knife. But it's, like, it's the only thing in my pocket.
And what the fuck else are you going to use?
Well, I could have, like, grabbed one of the shittier knives at Lull, but...
Well, I did that with this.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of all of the abuse that you've put this little native through, you think that stabbing the steel oil tanks is the most abusive thing you've done with this?
That's the first thing that came to mind.
That's what I was thinking with this too. That's why I was like, oh, grab your little native, like that's perfect for what we're talking about.
Well, I did that with multiple of my knives, and the S30V chipped right away on my mini Bugout. When I did that, it chipped every time.
Yep.
But M4 didn't chip. Not
that
once.
is crazy to me.
It was great.
Do you have any other things that you've done with this that were maybe a little cringy or no with this one? Wow, your pocket clip is fucked. It's like almost, it's actually like in the freaking...
So as much as I like love the EDC community, I love using my knives, and I like, you know, I'm on Instagram too. I really like when I'm using my knives, I'm not really thinking about it. It's always just like, if I need something that's pointy and sharp to like cut or, you know, for literally anything, like I don't think twice about it. I just use it. So, and if it like messes up the knife somehow, I just either fix it or get a new one.
Like get the fuck over it. Okay, so here
I can't think of examples because I use them all the time, but just for random things. Like
no, I have a question here. So this is going to be a discussion because I was hoping you would come out here to kind of talk about this with me. This is going to be a good video. People are going to fucking eat this shit up. So, a large YouTuber made a video saying that if you get this, if you were in the ocean and you needed a Phillips head screwdriver, you would probably be able to find one close by.
What you said that in your last video.
Yes, but literally, he said that there will never be an instance where you are left with just a knife and not the tools that you need, to the point where if you were in the ocean, you could find a Phillips head nearby. Now, I need you to confirm this so that, just for the fucking files here. At Lull, at the farm, were we or were we not left with nothing to fix anything ever, and we never even met our boss, and it was like, fend for yourselves. Yeah. You have the tools like that you have, and that's it.
Yeah, they had nothing for tools.
Nothing.
And like, now, I just started a job with construction, actually. Like, never...
Yeah, congrats to
Never
Nicole.
done
She started
construction
a new job
before.
too.
Shh.
Sorry.
Never done construction before, but I'm learning that. And even then, I've already seen, like, so many instances where I could just use my knife for it. And I've seen all of the guys that I work with that are training me, not one of them always has every tool for the job on their belt. They're not going to carry an entire fucking backpack of tools and then search for each one and take the time to do that. They're just going to grab whatever pocket knife that they have or whatever, anything in their hand, and they're going to use that to make it work. Like, they're just going to use what works. And knives work for so many things.
Yes, they do.
It's not just a box cutter. It literally can do way more than people give it credit for.
Do you think our fucking grandfathers carried around 8,000 tools and a Leatherman wave to do everything? No, they had like one of those little Stockmans with like a reamer in it, and that was literally your everything tool. And yes, I understand that now. We're 20, 30 years ahead of time. It doesn't change the fact that when you're in a trade, when you're in a blue-collar job, sometimes you're moving quickly, you're doing shit, you have 3 different job sites that you're working on in the same day, and your tool bag, your main tool bag might be at the farmhouse, but right now you're at the fucking suburban house, and you need to take a light switch panel off of the wall and you don't even have a
Yeah.
flathead, so you're using your knife blade. Yes.
Done.
It happens, guys. If you want to live in fairy tale land and pretend that blue-collar jobs and using your shit doesn't exist, be my guest. But we will live...
Yeah, I don't know, use it for whatever you want. If you don't want to use it as a multi-tool, don't. Like,
if
that's
you do, you do.
totally fine, too.
There
like,
are
obviously,
instances.
if I've chipped this, now I have more work putting on a new edge, and that sucks. So it's like, if you do have something else, like a screwdriver around, by all means, then do that instead. That way you don't have to worry about chipping it and having to sharpen it later when you get home. So, like, it's just whatever suits your needs. Whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter.
So I kind of want to keep track here. So low at the farm, we did not have the tools that we needed, and we used our knives for multi-tools a lot. We already established that. Let's go back a little further. Holistic Pet, when we were redoing the fucking warehouse. Do you remember when we did the renovations at the warehouse?
Yeah, our boss was like, here, we're changing up everything, doing the whole floor. So all of these massive machines and these huge metal shelving units need to come down and get taken out back. And then you have to move it all back once they're done with the floor. And he's like, okay, Erica and Nicole, you got this? You sound like a plan. And then he just walked off to his office.
And we were like, but we don't know what we're doing. Goo-goo.
No idea.
We had to repaint the walls. They, like I said earlier in the video, they did have a flooring company come in and lay down that textured production room flooring. However, we had to, as in Nicole and I, repaint all of the walls, take apart all of the machinery and move it either outside or into a different room or onto a trailer that was parked outside. I mean, it was honestly a fucking nightmare and a mess. But, again, did Ryan give us a craftsman frickin' toolkit to actually do that job, or were we using our knives and tools? Using our knives and tools that we had on us because we weren't given anything. And it was cheaper to have us do the dirty work than to have a company come in.
Yeah.
That's what it boiled down to. It was literally cheaper for our boss to be like, hey, girls, spend the week redoing the warehouse. I'm not going to hire a company to do it. Whatever you have on you, just fucking send it.
And I understand a lot of people, I think it's just us. And, like, obviously more people than just us. But, like, if we're taking just us as an example...
Yeah.
We've just grew up where this was natural and normal.
Maybe it's New Hampshire.
So maybe it's New Hampshire. Yeah, I think that we are just of a different breed.
I do think that's part of it, because literally it's like...
So...
A lot of people around here have blue collar jobs, and it is very normal to see people using their knives as multi-tools here. And like, if you were to whip out a toolkit and like the latest Leatherman and the latest Swiss Army knife and the latest and greatest everything,
everyone
people
around
would like
here,
make fun of you.
No,
and
they just like would look at it and be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna literally destroy this in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
and then like they're just not gonna find any like they're not gonna be like, oh my god, wow, that's so good that you should hang it up in a case and not use it. Like they're gonna be like, okay, the latest and greatest is gonna be used the same as my old 50-year-old multi-tool.
Where they're gonna be like, why the fuck are you carrying like
or
a Batman toolkit?
Why'd you buy something so expensive that's meant to be just used as a tool?
Yeah.
But I've bought expensive knives too. Like I'm actually like I keep looking at more and more expensive knives, which is like crazy to me, because it's like at the same time, like my $100 knife usually does pretty well, so I don't need to buy more expensive knives, but I still want to.
Yeah.
So like I get it.
Yeah. No, I thought it would be a fun discussion, because for some reason people seem to be very offended by the use your shit movement, and we have a lot of people on our team, but there are also like a lot of people being like, it's just a collector's community.
I think that the problem with the use your shit movement is that there are so many people involved in it, and some of them shit on the people who don't use their shit. So then those people get offended, and those people, you know, feel like they have to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
No,
like if you're on the other side of it and you feel like you're being targeted, it totally makes sense that you would want to defend yourself and maybe hate the movement because of it.
Yeah.
So it really shouldn't be about who uses or doesn't use their shit. It should just be about the opportunities that knives give you to use your shit. Like, it shouldn't be about anything more than that, and it's not supposed to be condescending to the people who don't. It's literally just like, hey, this is a tool. I want to tell you about this tool. and how it works and what it can do to perform for you. Like, that's all it is about, is just like, what can I do with it?
Yeah. And you have a really good point, and I think, so like, you have a different point of view than I do. So you entered the community way later than I did, and also we have a lot of a similar following, but I have
way more,
and a lot of different variety. And so for me, here's the thing. I don't make fun of people that collect. I used to collect and just stare at them. And I also used to collect weird shit like erasers and just like stare at them. It was like a very strange OCD thing that I had. Marbles,
shoes,
stuffed animals, shoes. Like, I used to have like really bad OCD and just like collect things and then line them up and like touch them and stare at them. Like, it was creepy.
Like, get into
and
phases
fucked.
and then just like organize them in a little box.
And I had like a little kit and they'd all be organized, and like it was creepy. I was fucking a weird child. Mom, if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. I was fucked. But my point is, I have graduated up to using my tools. And the thing is, I don't care if you collect knives and you don't actually use them. What I am passionate about and what I care about is people that get knives for free or buy them, but don't use them and then review them. And the issue is, I had this argument with somebody. I'm having an argument with my dog. Stop. My issue is, let's say you are new in the community and you want to buy like a Chris Reeve Small Sebenza. Let's say that. And you go on YouTube to find out information about this. You're going to do your research before you buy it. And you type in, Chris Reeve Small Sebenza, blah, blah, blah. And let's say that Bearded Gear, for example, who is a big YouTuber and has a lot of followers and he gets a lot of stuff, his review of the Sebenza pops up, which, by the way, he fucking hated. Now, he didn't really use it. He didn't actually do anything with it, and he gave it a horrible review. And now, you did your research, good job. You went on YouTube to look up a reputable reviewer, and the research has shown that this is garbage, essentially. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? When you don't use your knives and then you review them, the research is flawed. And that's the issue. There are people coming into the community, and it's a great community, but when they go to do their research or go to buy a product, the reviews are flawed, they're not real, and people that actually test and then review things like me, Outpost, Bumblebee EDC, even Steve, even Sheffy, our stuff gets buried because people with way more viewers and subs are up at the top and they come up first, even though they didn't use the knife and they still reviewed it. But then the people that actually tested it and reviewed it are way buried underneath it. Our stuff is never going to be seen because we're not as popular, but we put in way more work than the people sitting at a desk and reviewing a knife that they cut a piece of paper with. That's my issue. If you collect knives and you don't use them, I still love you. It's just when you label your shit as a review and you literally didn't use it, it sucks for everyone else because you are either shitting on a knife or saying it's fantastic and you didn't actually use it. That's the issue.
I can see why that sucks for people like you and others that like...
I don't care, but there are people that come to me being like, Erica, I've had my channel for 3 years.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, it is still, you're still putting in a bunch of work making these videos. Like, even if you don't care, like, at the same time,
yes,
part of you must care a little bit. Like,
I, like, literally genuinely don't. I feel bad for people. Okay, like, Jacob, if you're watching this, Kayak Fisher Northwest, fucking incredible channel. He's a fisherman. He does a ton of work.
I like his channel. It's one of the few
It's fucking sick, and he has like 400 subs, and he's had his channel for fucking years. It's like, Benchmade, send him a fucking kit of knives, will you? He actually uses them, and he does incredible videography, photography, everything. The motherfucker has like literally under 400 subs, and he's had his channel forever. It's like, that's my point. And he actually uses his stuff, does very thorough content.
The other problem to that is that it's just trying to... I'm a little goo-goo. Trying to present it in your video where it's entertaining too. So like,
but his shit is entertaining.
No, not talking about his stuff.
I literally
saying,
fall
like,
asleep to Metal Complex and Nick Shabazz. Metal Complex, love you, we're on good terms, but your stuff is boring sometimes. But hear me out. It's literally like a lullaby. It puts me to sleep. It's so fucking boring.
I tried watching one of each of those two channels, videos, and
it's so
I
boring.
agree.
Because none of it's real.
But that's just our opinion, I guess. Like, if they have so many subs, then they must entertain someone.
Yeah,
I don't
other
know.
people that don't
it's
use
not
their shit.
like it's nothing you can really do about it. It's literally just what the
But like
audience
that's
wants.
my thing. What if we? I'm feeling my motherfucking drink. I'm feeling feisty. What if we can do something about it? That's my point. What if we can?
Is that why
What
you're
if
making all
we
these videos
bring
about it?
awareness and try to steer people toward content where they actually use their stuff and then review it? James from Junkyard Fox. Bitches and hoes, if you're not subscribed to James over at Junkyard Fox, he's
amazing.
He will review a knife after a year of using it. And he like literally butchers like rabbits and rattlesnakes and frogs.
He is
and
by far one
wild
of the most
boars.
entertaining YouTubers that I've seen with the EDC
I
community.
could watch James for like days on end without eating or drinking
Yeah, because
or
he does
pissing.
camping and like
Oh my god,
and
his
cook and
content is
stuff,
incredible.
yeah.
But you don't hear anybody talking about James.
Well, he
Granted,
has a lot of subs.
But in the EDC community, and he does a lot of EDC content, he does EDC pocket dumps and like updates like every season. Never hear anybody talking about fucking James. And he is the best content creator on YouTube right now. The absolute best. Are you fucked? Go watch James. He will literally use a knife for a year before reviewing it and show what it did.
Oh yeah. He only has 3,800 followers on Instagram.
Did you hear that?
He should have way more.
Literally way more. James has the best channel ever. And like I said, Jeremy over at Bumblebee EDC, he like does the torture tests on a lot of knives and will do shit with them that none of you pussies would ever do, but it's still cool to see if they will survive, and they're incredible. And he has like no subs. Go subscribe to Bumblebee EDC.
Stop drinking.
Chuzd. No, you... Oh no, we're both retarded. I just squirt my drink on me. Yeah, so anyway, that's my point, is that there are people making huge moves in the community that are completely overlooked. There are people doing reviews, and they're not recognized because they aren't getting free stuff and, sugarcoating things. And it sucks. It sucks for the people that want to have more of a connection with bigger companies like Benchmade or Spyderco or anything like that, or flashlight companies or backpack companies, and they can't get there because they are buried in the YouTube algorithm or buried in the Instagram algorithm over people that literally do not use their stuff ever and get tons more views and tons more subs and tons more everything. It's ridiculous. But I don't know, that video was fun to make with the stupid shit that we've done with our knives. Anything else to say, Nicole Dodge?
Yeah. This is a great little thing.
Yeah, this is a great little thing.
These scissors I've used so much that they get stuck now. So I think it's time to get a new one. Okay, they're not getting stuck now. That's
You
weird.
could oil it.
It's this little part. It like gets caught in the
spring.
metal and then it stays like that usually. It's not doing it right now, which is good. But man, this thing's great. And having a clip for your little Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yep. Okay. Anything else that you use on the daily?
No.
Miss Construction Worker?
No, I'm in the phase of construction where I'm like watching other people because they don't trust me with a lot of tools yet. But,
You're like an apprentice right now. Right?
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
I used a drill.
I used a drill.
Coated a wall with some drywall mud, so I did a few things. So
Okay.
far.
You're allowed to move lumber into the truck.
Yes, I can be cleanup crew.
Yep.
They trust me with that.
For once, I'm not in a blue collar job anymore, so
I know. How is that going to affect your shit and your reviewing knives monthly?
Okay, so I did use my shit today because we had to rebuild the fucking kennel that the dogs tore off the wall. I actually
Nice. So they just
used
have
my
to
shit
do
a
that
lot.
every day.
There's a lot of stuff that can be like repaired there, surprisingly, and it's not like my sole job is training dogs or taking care of dogs. Like I'm kind of also like doing a lot of stuff that has needed to be done for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like the handyman, like that, the extra things that just nobody has had time to do. I get to do now.
Yeah.
However, that does affect how much I use my knives, and there's no way in fuck I'm gonna pretend that I'm using my knives as much as I used to, because I'm literally not. Goog is here, but I will figure that out as we go. Oh, well, Goog is here. She's like, I want a pocket knife. Goog, do you want the Benchmade Bugout? Want a Benchmade Bugout? No, she doesn't want. She doesn't want any knives. Yeah, I've still been using my knives, just not nearly as much, and I'll figure out what to do with that, because I'm not going to pretend that I'm using my shit if I'm not. But I have been using it at work. I have to open, like, a lot of packages for dog food, dog treats, dog blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I had to rebuild...
That's good.
Yeah, I had to rebuild the kennel today. And then at home, obviously, I'm using my shit. So it really hasn't been that bad. I'm just not using them as pry bars and hammers like I used to. But that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else for the good people out there?
Nope, I'm done. I'm gonna go away now.
Wait, you're not gonna close out the video with me?
Oh, okay. If you're
Fucking
finishing
Christ. Yeah, no, I am finishing
Okay.
now. You can't leave me for dead. Okay, guys, the point of this is, if you use your shit, we love you. If you don't use your shit, we still love you. Collecting knives, a little weird, but totally fine if you don't use them.
It's totally fine.
It's totally fine. Not our thing, but it's a lot of people's things. We still love you. Most of our best friends on Instagram barely use their knives, and we literally are best friends with them. It's just,
and it's nice.
Literally,
It's nice to have it just in case you ever do want to use it. You know,
Yes.
like I have guns. Like I have a few pistols and stuff that I haven't had a chance to shoot in like months, almost
Yeah.
a year now. I just haven't had the chance to, or a place to go. So I got to do that soon.
it's literally just when
So
it
they're
starts
just-
getting into play pretend land.
Yeah.
You know what
I,
I'm saying?
You know, I carry it for protection, of course, which hopefully you'd never have to use it.
Right.
In that case, like if I'm just carrying it on me, I don't want to use it in that case. I want it to just be there in case I
Yeah.
need it. But like actually target practicing, like I haven't had the chance to in a while.
Yeah.
But I still take pictures of it. I still carry it. It's still fun. You know,
Yeah.
I understand just having some tools that you like to carry, even if you don't
It's
use
supposed to be fun, guys. It's not fun. It's not fun once you start
it. Pretending.
pretending
That's
and
what
lying.
I don't like is that I
Yes.
see that on Instagram sometimes where it's like a knife that's clearly never cut anything and they're like, this knife can do this, this, and that. It's like,
But have you ever
Sure.
done it? No. Yeah,
No.
exactly. So anyway, guys, go use your shit or don't. We love you either way. Go talk shit or don't. We love you either way. And
just be yourself.
Just be
we'll
yourself.
love you either way.
or don't. We love you either way. We will see you guys soon. We love you all. See you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye!